Fortunate to have dinner at the home of past international director Arun Oswald. And from there I went to Mangalore, then Bangalore, then Kachi, and I'm here now. And I'm leaving here. Where am I going? Where am I going next?
Hello.
Okay, and from there to Vijayawada for the forum. I'll get back home on the 20th of December. But I will spend the holidays with my family in California. But Lions, I have been so impressed with the work that I've seen that you're doing here in India. Your eye hospitals, your dialysis center, your schools for children. We inaugurated a freshwater purification system in the school. We also inaugurated sanitary napkin dispensers for the young ladies. They have a library there and a small clinic where they can take care of minor injuries. To see the work and how proud the Lions are. Now, about an hour ago or less, we visited this new building that you have here. Is it with 40,000 square feet, is it? And your past international director, Prasad, I've never seen anybody more proud of anything that they've done in my life, I have to tell you. He kept telling me it's 3 floors, 3 floors. There's no money from the public, there's no money from Lions International. This is all the work of Lions. There's 3 floors. There's no money from the public. And I'm just sitting there listening to him, and I can hear how proud he was to be able to say that. And that it was done for the purpose of serving the community, not looking for anything in return. And that is so important that we serve that way. Our motto is so simple. We look for that opportunity to make a difference in the lives of those less fortunate. And you're doing an outstanding job by doing that here. The need is great here. I've never, in any other parts of the world that I've visited, seen as many eye hospitals as you have here. And the dialysis center. You know, I was appointed to the first vice presidency. So in January of 2020, prior to COVID. And I did get to come to India just before COVID broke out. I was in Calcutta, and I got to see a lot of blood banks that they had there. And to see the people that they brought in for cataract surgeries. And they had just developed a dialysis center where they could do a dialysis treatment for $10. Now in the States, you would never get a dialysis treatment for $10 or anywhere near that. So it was just so amazing to see the things that you're doing and making a difference. That's why we exist in more than 200 countries around the world, 365 days a year. Lions are making people's lives better. So we can all be proud of that. And I'm so sorry that many of you were not able to attend our international convention in Montreal. There's something called a visa that y'all needed and were not able to get. And I'm hoping and praying that many of you will be able to come to Boston to our convention, July 7th to the 11th of 2023. But I do understand that there's still issues with visas, and I want you to know that LCI is doing all we can to help with that situation. I know oftentimes the letters have not been able to move the authorities to, put on more staff. And a lot of this came out of the pandemic, of being that people weren't traveling. A lot of the people were laid off that do that type of work. So, and they're so far behind, it's just taking time to catch up. But we have something called Capitol Hill Day every year. We go and meet with our local politicians, our senators and representatives. And we're expressing to them the difficulty that we're having in getting these visas. So we're hoping that it will improve. Our first Vice President, Dr. Patty Hill, unfortunately will not be able to join us. I got an email from her earlier this evening stating that she still has not gotten a visa. She's from Canada. So she will not be able to join us at the forum. And she had this little sad face on it because she really wanted to be here with you as we go through your forum. But I want to thank you for our foundation, on behalf of our foundation now, serving as the chairperson of the foundation. In my year as president, I was excited. The early part of my year, I could not do much travel because of the pandemic. So now, in addition to my responsibilities as chairperson, we're trying to make up some of those engagements that were canceled because of COVID. But nevertheless, You came forward and you supported our Campaign 100, the goal to raise $300 million. We raised $325 million. And that was partly possible because of your support. So I want to thank you for that and give yourself a hand. It was good to hear the report just now that the governor had a goal of 25, Melvin Jones. Now there's up to 50, you've doubled that goal, and we are just not even halfway through the year. So that could very well be 100 or better. That's great. Now, and that's one of the things we talked about when you plan your goals. It's okay to adjust them. Sometimes we have to adjust down, but we rather adjust up, and you're doing just that. And that is truly serving and making a difference. So congratulations, Governor, on a fantastic half of the year. Can't wait to see what the full year is going to look like. And that's because of each and every one of you supporting. You know, I joined Lions back in 1984 in Bedford, Stuyvesant, Brooklyn. I joined to serve my community, not looking for anything in return. As it stated in the video, service to others is the rent we pay for the space we occupy here on earth. And how will we be remembered? What did we do while we were here to make a difference in someone else's life? Besides about what we've acquired for ourselves and our family. And I know we're not a religious organization, but I often think in the end, whomever you worship, what will they say? They won't be impressed with about how big your house or how fine the car. But what did you do to make somebody else's life better? And as Lions, we can truly say we feed the hungry, we clothe the naked, and we help give sight to the blind. What a beautiful legacy that we can all be proud of. Now, our foundation gives grants all over the world. In order for us to continue to be able to do that, we must continue to support our foundation. As the year was coming to an end with the campaign, in the early part of the year, we were a little nervous that we were not going to make that goal. But I know since 1984, every campaign we've had, we've always met or exceeded that goal. And I'm saying, this can't be the year that we don't make our goal that I'm president of this organization. And being the first African-American president, I didn't want us to not make that goal. So thank you again for coming through. Then my concern was, well, now that the campaign is over, we don't want people to think that giving should stop. Serving, we serve. Giving is serving. And I say that several times. Giving is serving too. We have a lot of people in our organization that can't always come out to meetings. They can't always attend the service projects. But there's another way you can serve. You can reach in your pocket and put a little extra when you're paying those dues, or even if not at dues time, any time during the year, so that you still are supporting us. Now, we have 1.4 million members. We've been saying that for much too long. I was a district governor in 1994-95, and we were saying 1.4 million members. And here we are almost in 2023, saying 1.4 million members. Now the question is, have we not had growth over all these years? Yes, we have. And where has most of that growth been? And I have to congratulate Constitutional Area 6. It's for your growth that we can still say 1.4. And I'm not proud to say in North America, Constitutional Area 1, where it all began, we have not been able to move our membership numbers forward. So we came out with the NAMI, and I hope most of you have heard of NAMI, North American Membership Initiative, which is now the global membership approach. It's a process. From the pilot, it was very successful. There were 9 districts that participated in the project, and all 9 of those districts at the end of the year showed a positive increase in membership. It's a process, not a program. 4 steps. If you follow it, we see that the results are very favorable. So it's being rolled out to the rest of the constitutional areas, all 8. And we know it's not going to happen overnight. It'll take several years to see the growth. But we're hoping to get away from 1.4 in a positive sense so that we can continue to grow this organization. Because I often say with more hands, we can provide more service. And when we think of all the disasters that are happening around the world, the numbers are increasing. So it's going to require more funds from our foundation to keep it going, so that we can continue to say where there's a need, there's a lion. And the only way that's possible is through support of our foundation. I ask each and every one of you to make sure that you've made a donation to our foundation, no matter how small. Of our 1.4 million members, I feel each and every member should support our foundation. So I asked the question about the new member kit. Was there any information in the new member kit about our foundation? And the answer was no. And I said, why not? From the time people join our organization, they should know about our foundation. That information is in the new member kits now. And anybody care to guess what percentage of our membership know about our foundation? The number has increased since Campaign 100 because we promoted it for the last 4 years. But it's still relatively small. It's way below 50% of our members. So just imagine if each member supported our foundation with a small donation of $20. You know how much that is? $28 million. More than half of what our goal is for this year. Our goal this year is to raise $50 million. We get a weekly report. And last Friday, the report was just over $24 million. So we're on track because through December, we should be at least at 25 million. And December's not over yet. And I have to tell you, I visited Japan. But for the organization, we raised $1 million in one day. Now, if you've been following the numbers for the campaign, about half of that money, that $300 million, came out of the LCIF area. They have the funds, and they are great supporters of our foundation. But I understand that we set a record by raising $1 million in one day. Now, I know Korea, with Japan, and Taiwan, they like to outdo each other. So I said, okay, I raised $1 million in Japan. What are we gonna do in Korea? So at the LCIF forum, which was in Korea, the numbers came in at $1.7 million. $1.7 million. Now, I've yet to go to Taiwan. I can only imagine what they're gonna do. But it all begins with an ask. And to explain to our members how their donations are being used. When you see the work that I'm seeing here that you're doing, and we almost must remind them that if you give $100, that $100 goes to the cause. There's no administrative piece that comes out of your donation. And we often tell people when you're deciding what organizations to support, you need to go online and check and see what percentage of your donation is actually going to what you want it to go for. Some organizations take a part for their administration, and it could be as much as 30-40% of your donation. So if you gave $100, only $60 was what you wanted to go for it. The others is paying administrative costs and salaries. We can say 100% of your donation goes to the cause. And that speaks to how well our foundation is run and how we've invested the funds so that the interest that we get from the money we have in the bank is enough to pay salaries and keep us going. So thank you for all that you do. I'm sorry I can't spend more time here. I made a pledge that I would like to come back next year when you've completed that new building. Yes, and inaugurate one of the floors at least. Yes. But I want to encourage you to keep serving, because that's what it's all about. We serve. People join our organization to serve, not to be served. And we lose a lot of members, not only to death. Happy members don't leave. Let's make sure that our members are having a positive experience, that they're enjoying themselves. I know in my club, we have a laugh at every meeting. We have fun. We take care of business, but we have fun. So if you're not having fun in your meetings and in your service, something is wrong. Happy members don't leave. And the other thing was a priority of mine last year is leadership development. Let's make sure we're giving our clients an opportunity to serve, not only the public, but to serve our organization, to develop, to move on to become zone and region chairs so that they can become vice district governors and district governors and international directors, and yes, maybe an international president. I tell you, I never dreamed that I would be president of this great association, but I just continue to serve in my community. I still deliver my Thanksgiving baskets, which was my aha moment. This is the first year that I was not home to do that because the LCIF forum, where of course in Korea they don't celebrate Thanksgiving, their forum was that week and I had to be there for it. But I look forward to being able to continue that service because that's what it did. And you know, real lions, that's what they do. If you don't win an election, you don't leave the organization. You continue to serve. That shows a true lion. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your hospitality. Looking forward to the forum. I hope to see many of you at the forum, and we can continue to celebrate. That's one of the great things about this organization, the friendships we make around the world. We don't have to see each other every week or every day, but when we get together, we have a great time and celebration. And something that came out of COVID, I used to tell people I am zoomed out. I've been on so many Zoom meetings in India in the morning, Australia in the afternoon, and China in the evening, all without leaving my home. And something you don't get on Zoom. I can look in the governor's eyes, I can hug the governor. You can't do that on Zoom. Yeah, we share some beverages on Zoom, but it's not the same. And that's something we learn how important the social aspect of our life is. So please continue to serve safely, serve with kindness because it truly matters. Let's make sure we give our service from the heart. People can tell the difference. Together we can, and together we will. Thank you.